We keep them updated. We have them. They have Bulgaria on the radar screen. As a matter of fact, I had a meeting like 2 weeks ago, two days ago on Bulgaria. So everybody's looking at companies. Everybody is looking at the fundamentals. They just want the right timing to go in. If this answers your question, it's not out of focus. It's not out of favor. They're just waiting for things to improve, to get some solid indications that the situation is under control and we are not in any further deterioration on the global level. And when this thing happens, I'm pretty sure that they will play again a very active role in the Bulgarian equity market.
And what can you say about the Western stock markets? Do you think the bottom is near, and which assets, in your opinion, have the greatest growth potential when the effects of the crisis subside?
Well, we may have already seen the bottom in last March. However, we have still serious problems. We don't have the risk of a global collapse, market collapse. I think that this risk has vanished, but still we are facing a very severe recession, and we'll have many problems that will limit the growth potential in the years of recovery. So we are not out of the woods. However, we are in a better position than we were 6 months ago. So investors will have to be patient. They will have to start building positions now, but they must also have a long horizon. Everything will depend on the recovery of the economies. Normally, we should see the recovery first in the US. We see some major big emerging markets growing, China. It will be the case of Brazil later on. So in terms of geographic view, I would say that we will see better performance by the big emerging markets, China, Russia, probably Brazil. Then the US, and I would expect Europe to follow the US with a time lag.
And which assets do you think have the greatest growth potential?
Which
assets?
I would say the equities.
Equities.
In a 3 years time horizon, I would say equities. The money markets are limited by the very low rates, and the huge issues that we are facing in the bond markets, sovereign bond markets, most probably will lead to a very volatile bond market in the years to come. The amounts that will have to be refinanced are really huge, so I guess it will have a very volatile bond market in the years to come.
Okay. Mr. Apistoulas, what is the present condition of the Greek banking system after the interventions of the government? And are Greek banks still sticking to their policy of providing financing to their Bulgarian units?
Okay. This has been a very tough period for the financial sector worldwide. In Greece, we're relatively happy because in terms of capital structure and capital adequacy, the capital adequacy ratio of Greek banks ranks among the highest in Europe, which is a very good thing. Of course, there has been a tremendous impact in terms of margins and profitability, but still even in last year's very bad conditions, all Greek banks managed to record profits, which for me is quite significant. If you look at all the US banks and major European banks, they had huge losses, huge provisioning, and probably this has to do to the fact that, first of all, the Greek banking system is quite simpler than the developed Europe. There were not toxic assets, capital adequacy was high, and the only impact came from economic conditions, i.e. lower demand for loans and lower margins because of the conditions in the financial and money markets. So in this sense, I think that the consensus is that the Greek banks are out of the woods, and it seems that compared to the other banks, they leave the crisis, or they're finishing the crisis relatively in a much better shape than all the others. And in terms of how they treat their affiliates in the region, my view and consensus is that there was never an issue of not supporting their affiliates in the region in whichever way they feel appropriate in order to keep the exposure there, because everybody believes that Bulgaria with the other countries are regions of high growth, and since we are strategically placed in these countries, strategy is more than a year or 2 years. The financial markets are a cycle, so I think that there is a commitment of staying there and being there and supporting everybody in terms of through the woods to the better times.
Thank you, gentlemen, and I wish you every success in all your endeavors in Bulgaria.
Thank you very much for your time.